Well, that was some night last night at St James's Park. We're getting used to these big nights now with Newcastle in the Champions League, but the Manchester City game, going into it, many wondered how Newcastle would cope, even with Man City making changes. But I thought, they were absolutely fantastic. The first half, as I said last night, was, it felt like a bit of a struggle. Man City seemed like if any team was going to take the initiative, it was going to be them. But after the break, I think whatever Eddie Howe said to the players, it worked. And I think from his point of view, he wanted a reaction. He's mentioned it before. He wants his players to give the crowd something to feed off, and I think he's certainly done that. And the players certainly responded to whatever he said. So he's getting it right. He got his selection right. 10 changes. Some people might have deemed that a bit of a gamble, but it was far from it. It was exactly what Newcastle needed, that freshen up. And every player that came in, I thought took their opportunity. I mean, where do you start? I suppose you have to start with Tino Livramento. I thought he was absolutely brilliant throughout the whole game. I said at half time that Newcastle probably were going to have to rely on, some of the more senior players to come on and guide them through the game. I mentioned Kieran Trippier. Sadly, some people misread that as me saying that I thought Livramento should be substituted. I never said anything of the sort. I said that he'd done very well. As you know, we do the half-time ratings. He was sitting on an 8, pushing on to a 9 at half-time, and he ended the game with a 10. So I think that wraps that little debate up. But look, I think for Newcastle fans, Livramento has come in and shown exactly what he's all about. He's waited patiently for his chance. He's got a tough battle with Kieran Trippier, but the beauty of it is, and this is what I was trying to touch on at half time, you don't really get much of a chance on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days to give a full sort of flavour of it. But look, what I was saying was Newcastle got options. They can bring Trippier on, they can put him at right back, they can put Livramento further up the field on the right, they can put Trippier at left back, and I thought that Newcastle perhaps needed that guidance to come through. In the end, they did need that guidance. They turned to Bruno Guimaraes and Anthony Gordon, and then later on Miguel Almiron. They all came on and played a part in a very good but narrow win over Man City. My gut reaction after the game was the draw. Obviously, I was on a real high, like many of us were, and then there was a few sort of groans when Man United, with a team Newcastle were going to be playing, and yeah, it's a tough draw. But like, what you've got to remember is that we're, as Newcastle fans, we all sit concerned over, when you get drawn away at Man United. But this is a different Newcastle. This is a different group of players. They're a younger group of players who will look at this game as an opportunity. I spoke to Livramento straight after the game, and he said that this is another chance to go to a big ground, big club, and pull off a big result. So, that's their mindset. The mindset of us is that we're used to going to Old Trafford and not getting good results. But Eddie Howe went there and got a draw last year. So, look, they'll be well prepared for that game. There's a lot of big games to come. I think, really, there was a huge media interest. It was another packed press box last night at St James's. Perhaps some of the national titles were coming to see if Man City could potentially secure the first leg of what would have been what could be a quadruple, but no, that was pretty much dismissed. Newcastle dominated the back pages. Lots of puns about buses in there. Alexander Isak rightly getting the headlines. I was able to catch up with him after the game and have a little chat with him, and very grounded, very focused, waiting for his chance. He took it, got the winner. He'll come into contention again for the Burnley game. So all positives, really. Lots of 9s and 10s in the player ratings. It's a really good time to be a Newcastle fan. PSG coming up next week. But first and foremost, it's that game against Burnley. Can't underestimate what a challenge that'll be. I do expect Newcastle to get a win, but I think they're going to have the right attitude. Again, Eddie Howe will shuffle the pack, give other people a chance. But yeah, look, Newcastle couldn't be in a better place at the minute. It's 4 big results in a row, 4 clean sheets, progress in 2 competitions in terms of getting the point against AC Milan and getting through to the last 16 last night. You know, if they can beat Man United, suddenly they're in the quarterfinals, and you just never know, because a lot of Premier League teams have already been eliminated from this competition. So look, this is a real chance for Newcastle to kick on now. I feel Newcastle are stronger than last season. You know, when they got the Carabao Cup final, I feel like it's stretched the squad. The FA Cup obviously got knocked out in the first stage against Sheffield Wednesday, but I just feel Newcastle are in a better place. They're stronger. They made those 10 changes last night. As Eddie Howe said, they're edging closer to those 2 11s, and he'll be feeling that they can go in this Burnley game and get a result at the weekend, because that would, you know, push them up into the European places. So lots of positives, so many positives. We don't know what to do with ourselves as Newcastle go into the weekend on a real high. I think the ground will be jumping again, and then PSG and Mbappe. I mean, what a time to be a Newcastle fan. I think it's time to really enjoy. But overall, Newcastle in a good place. They feel that they can get results. They feel they can get clean sheets, and the work in the transfer market in the summer looks like it's paying off.